I can feel like 80 rats in my Marys. Me and Drizzy back to back, it's getting scary. If you fucking with my eyes, just don't come near me. Put some bins all on your head like Jason Terry. Whoa.
Get it, let's get it. You already know the TheFaisonView podcast, man. Hey, represent Nipsey Blue, man. Nipsey Blue.
Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, man.
Rest in peace, man. Look, the marathon will always continue, bro. Will always continue, man. We just want to make sure, first and foremost, before we even get started with anything, shouting out anything, he's a lot of the influence of what me and my brother here is doing right now. What we doing within our entrepreneurship and what we want to do and going further. You know what I'm saying? And building communities for our people. You know what I'm saying? Obtaining generational wealth. So before we even start and get into anything, man, shout out to him.
Rest in peace and Nipsey,
Rest in
man.
peace.
Icon, man.
Icon, man. And shout out to my pops, man. Birthday. Shout out to my pops, man. Much love. Much love. My role model, my inspiration as well. For sure. So, man, we got a good one today. We got a good one. So let's get into it. Let's get right into it. You know, I changed the little form up a little bit. So let's make sure we represent Nip like we're about to do. Hey, we're going to have rapid questions. This is the new TheFaisonView rapid question, this or that. So I'm going to ask my brother some questions. He needs to rapidly answer them. He's not prepared. I just, hey, on the fly. We about to start a new segment up in here. And look, are you comfortable with if your partner makes more earnings than you? Does that mean power or control? Thoughts on that? And Snowfall, the best show on TV by far to me. You know what I'm saying? Update on season 4 because we haven't talked about it yet. We haven't got into it yet. And that's another rest in peace,
Spoiler
man.
alert.
Another rest in peace to Mike Singleton, of course, man. The great. And lastly, would you rather be forced to wear the same thing every day or have to do the same thing every day? It's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. So let's get on to it. First and foremost, like we said, always game shift as you see different colorways out here, man. My brother doing it big, man. We still pushing the culture forward. We pushing the culture forward, man. Something big he's into, something big that's really about to impact. You about to impact a lot of people, bro. For real, if you really think about it. Every time you pitch and people talk about, you know, what you're doing, people are really moved because you don't have a lot of people in the space that's doing it. Not just, it doesn't matter what, you know, your gender, your whatever your race is, nothing. Just people in the space really doing it, you feel me? So you're inspiration too, bro. You know what I'm saying? And always, color power, man. You already know, man.
It's that time of year to have your wrist out anyway, you know what I'm saying? No more hoodies, no more jackets. You got some color power, man. He got waist beads too, ladies.
Yup, hey, now for real. They up and coming, And also, I want to merch coming soon in April. I know it's pushed back, but the TheFaisonView podcast merch is coming very soon, guys. So stay tuned on that. I got masks and hoodies coming soon, man. So let's get into it, bro. Let's get into it. First and foremost, Nipsey, man. Like the impact he made, even though, you know, I've known Nipsey for a good while musically. But at the end of the day, like the victory lap, where he was going with, where his plateau was, where he was always speaking, because I would always see YouTube clips of him, even like his clips and what he was saying was a lot more impactful, even though that was in the music. But it got really deep because it's like you get to see a rapper, but a rapper who is also has gang affiliations.
Gangbanger.
You know, like a real.
He was a gangbanger.
Yes, exactly. And one to really spit the knowledge he was spitting and have respect from all different types, not just Bloods, or all different types and walks of life, coming from different areas of gang violence or whatever the case may be. Like, and just in general, he pushed a lot of us, like we intro, further to do what we're doing right now, bro. Like, this Victory Lap album, bro, bar none, of course, it was my favorite album. My favorite album, of course, that year. You know what I'm saying? It was up and with Daytona, of course, but with this just stood out, and it's just like what his messaging, or not even just now, he's been talking about this. It's just a lot of people started to get on about the marathon because he's always spoke on the marathon.
It's the difference between, you know, being independent and having label backing.
Absolutely.
Get more ears.
But
he did it the right way.
He
worked himself into a space where he could, you know, kind of, you know, get a partnership where he can keep all his work and still get the benefits of distribution and things like that. So if you never heard of Nipsey Hussle, the only people who say stuff like that is younger people. Because like everyone who I know has always listened to Nipsey Hussle, and I wasn't even I was a casual Nipsey fan. But in high school, like every single person that I know, including you, Sean, oh my God, like everyone I knew listened to Nipsey Hussle. And the first time that I heard him, because I'm a big MMG fan. He was on Self-Made 2, Fountain of Youth, and he had like the coldest opening line, one of the coldest. He said, "Laces in my blue chucks represent my bros first." I was like, "Wait, hold on, like who is this?" And then like this whole verse was cold, and I was a casual fan. Like I heard feature verses here and there. I always liked the feature verses, and it wasn't until like he had he always did revolutionary stuff. Like he was like that independent grind is different. It's harder to get your music out. But he did the $100 mixtape, the marathon mixtape. And he was like, "Yo, we're gonna put the physicals is $100. You know what I'm saying? iTunes is $10, or you can download on that pit for free." And then the news came out that Jay-Z was like, "Yo, that's genius." He bought 100 copies. I was like, "Yo, if Jay-Z buys 100 copies of your stuff, I need to tap in."
Absolutely.
So I was like, I went and I heard the marathon mix stuff. Like, "Yo, this is fire." And then I think the next thing I heard was the Crenshaw tape. And he had mad other tapes before that and after that. And then and he was always giving out great game, you know what I'm saying, on the real estate tip, on the independent type of stuff, and entrepreneurship. And then Victory Lap comes out, and I'm still asleep, but like everywhere I go, everyone is talking about this Victory Lap album, like from friends to celebrities. And I'm like, when I see stuff like that, like I like when music comes to me.
Right.
When music comes to me, that's how I know it's good.
Right.
That means I didn't have to go out my way to hear it. It came to me. It was that good. So I was like, all right, I need to go play this album. When I played this album, I was like, yo, this is amazing. Like I know people say, "Oh, only because," no, before he died, this album was amazing. He got all the recognition he deserved
he did.
Before that he passed. Like this album was amazing. This is a classic album. Death or no death, it sucks that he died, but it's like this was an amazing body of work, and I was so ready for more. Like this album made me a hardcore Nipsey fan, and so then it was just so heartbreaking to hear that he passed. Right, like, I was so ready for more, and it was just
he was just getting started.
Yeah,
like
man.
Like,
and he got it the way he wanted. You know, he worked himself into a partnership with I think Def Jam and kind of like what Jay-Z and Ludacris and so many people have done before, getting a partnership with major labels. And that allowed his music to be heard on a broader scale. Like he never would have hit Billboard on an independent scale. It's harder to do that without like a big name person on your song with like millions. It takes money to do stuff like that. So when he finally got it, you know what I'm saying, you finally start seeing him in the top 5 of the charts, the top 10, all that. And he deserved it, man. Like,
and the thing that I respect about it too, bro, is just the fact that like in the midst of this making this amazing body of work, bro, even before, the reason why. And I feel like he could have made this body of work even before, but guess what? It was just the foundation in which he was building that took time. Not talking about the music, but not even talking about the music. Talking about what he was doing in his community. Yeah. He had bigger images just in rap. It wasn't just about rap. That's what I respect about him the most. He was revolutionary to his people. That's what matters the most, bro. Yeah. Like, you know, setting up wealth and setting up and creating jobs for your people, bro. You know what I'm saying? People always, always put this negative connotation on gangs or whatever the case may be or whatever you think. And guess what? He broke the mold of all of that, all the he say about what do you feel about that? Because even at the end of the day, his idol, Snoop Dogg, gives Nipsey probably one of the most credit out of anybody. Because at the end of the day, he told him as an OG, you know, oh, this what you can be doing. You know, he was joking around about making a dog pound and having certain things of that nature. But guess what? You can be creating jobs and building among your people. He was young with a very, very gifted mindset, honestly.
Yeah, one of the earliest interviews you found in Nipsey, he was already talking about, you know, wanting to invest in land and real estate and not diamonds. So that was rare to hear from a guy that age, especially, you know, a guy who was a gangbanger. You don't really, you know, think guys like that are that educated. But he was, man. And so like for him to buy that entire strip that he grew up hustling on, you know, and put it back and give out jobs and, you know, just put, I mean, there's a negative connotation of, you know, going back to your hood after you made money.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, he was, you know, his passing was an example of that. But even still, it's like, you know, I don't think he would regret it. I think he still did the right thing of putting the money back into his neighborhood and still showing up, you know,
and then, you know, his game and his knowledge is passed on. Like his independence right now, and thankfully, this man was so wise. You know, all those go to his family. Yeah. You know, everything, the gold sales, all that go to his family. Yeah. Because the foundation he said about and talking about independence and, you know, and building from the ground up, bro. Like
if you ever been to the Marathon store, when I went, it was still closed down. I think they were still building the statue. They was closing it off. The mural is still available to be taking pictures, but if you are in California, if you go, definitely make sure you go to the Marathon store, whether it's closed, gated off or not. You still take the picture by the mural. You know, still want to go over by Slauson Ave. It's a landmark now, man. It's a whole memorial now. So if you out there, definitely make sure you go holler at Nipsey, man.
Pay respect. For sure, man. So, a new segment. Hey, let's get it. About to hit a round of applause too, man. This or that, man. This or that. New rapid question, man. The TheFaisonView rapid question. This or that. So I got some questions for my brother here. He don't even know what I got in store for him, but it's 10 questions, bro. It's this or that.
It's 10?
Yes, it's this or that. So it's an or question. So that or, you know, and you give your rapid response, all right? So I'm starting off the top. These are just made for him. First, reasonable doubt or Illmatic?
Reasonable doubt.
Okay. Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Okay. Hot take. Okay. Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
Money or power?
I might have made the wrong choice. I don't know. Money or power?
Money or power?
Money.
Money. Okay. Interesting take. Batman or Wolverine?
Batman.
Okay. Floyd Mayweather or Ali?
Floyd.
Okay. Kobe or LeBron?
Kobe. 17
Warriors or 96 Bulls?
96 Bulls.
Okay. Crash Bandicoot or Mario Kart?
Mario Kart.
You might be bugging. All right. Listen to the last question. This is the 10th question. Listen up. 5,000 per day for the rest of the year. Per day for the rest of the year, or 2 million right now.
It's only that's for the year?
5,000 per day. I'm not saying per week, per day for the rest of the year, starting from 365. Okay.
5,000.
Okay. Why you 5,000?
Because I could blow that 2 million and it's gone. But if I blow the 5K, at least I know I'm getting another 5K tomorrow.
That's true too, but
it's like residual income.
That's okay. That becomes,
you know what I'm saying. You might have to get more money on the back end than you would up front. You know what I'm saying.
Okay, that you can put away.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. All right, you had some
learned that from Nipsey too.
Interesting take. So I wanna just review this real quick.
All right.
Why reasonable doubt over Illmatic?
I'm biased. I like Jay-Z more than I like Nas, and Illmatic is a better album, but I respect the process of Jay-Z's more because, you know, Illmatic was done on a major label, Columbia Records, and Nas also had Lost Professor, DJ Premier, and Q-Tip making that album. Reasonable Doubt is, for lack of a better word, a nigga from Brooklyn making an album with his niggas from Brooklyn. Like, and for him to create a top 5 album of all time under those circumstances is amazing. You know, like Ski did half the album. Most people don't even know who Ski is unless you like really like into rap, into Jay-Z. Probably never heard of Ski. Never heard of Sauce Money. Foxy Brown was nobody. You know what I'm saying? And even at the time, Jay-Z wasn't really, you know, Jay-Z at the time. So it's like he was, I mean, I think the most star power he had was Big, and that was just through mutual respect.
Illmatic, Nas, respectfully, he was 18, 17.
Yeah, but he still had all this other stuff going for him.
Like what? They was both starting off.
Yeah, but he had more money going for him. Like, he didn't have to pay for studio time. He had to pay for music videos. He didn't have to worry about this. Like, Jay-Z still had to sell his album out of trunk of his car. You know what I'm saying? He still had to go to record stores and pay record stores, hey, take this out. So, like, he still had to do that. So, like, and he didn't have, like, I think he had, like, what, 2 premiere beats? You know, other than that, it was just Ski. And Ski is, like, an unknown guy. So, he had a lot of, there was a lot of unknown people working on an album that they had to fund themselves sell themselves. Just to be like, they had to work that deal with the Nutty Professor movie to get that ain't no nigga song on there. They had to do that themselves. Like normally labels take care of that, but he had to go to the office and do that. So I respect the process a little bit more. But Illmatic is a better album.
Okay, all right.
And I'm biased like Jay-Z.
All right, so why? All right, in my opinion, because you said money over power, I don't think the money goes over power. My opinion, I think.
What if I don't care about power?
But at the end of the day, I'm just saying in general. But you can care about money, but what really holds more value? That's what it really does. It does.
Sometimes
depend.
money buys you power. What did the law say? Money, power, respect.
Yes, but also you with power, you can. That's when you really can obtain money, because once you have power, you have people that are leaders, born leaders, without money or without anything of that nature, but they have power in what they say, and that can bring them and make them wealthy or rich. You know, at the end of the day, it's not. And that's why I just felt like, no, it was just a good question, because, you know, a lot of people would just say money, but I feel like maybe power, because it's a lot of people that may not have money, but they have the power of respect of what their word is, and to push forward with going with their word, and that can get them to obtain money. So I'm just saying it can go both ways. That's what I was just giving you back and forth for some of these. Just asking you, 17 Warriors or 96 Bulls? You said Bulls?
Yes.
I might have to make an interesting take right now, because I say the 17 Warriors. I don't know anybody on the Bulls, but I'm talking about not listen to what I'm saying. Anybody on the Bulls that's going to guard KD. I'm sorry. Yes, they do have Dennis Rodman, one of the greatest defenders ever, and Scottie the Pippen, and Michael Jordan. They all three of the greatest defenders ever, all time. Barbecue chicken, KD. KD's the most unguardable player, and I was really just arguing with this about somebody. He's the most unguardable player we've ever seen in the history of basketball. We have to pay homage. I don't know
Over
what
Michael Jordan?
Yes, over Michael Jordan. Even Kobe said he's the only one couldn't figure it out. Even when Michael Jordan jokingly asking the question, I'm just saying, giving him kudos. What he was saying, Kobe or LeBron, he said, man, KD, laughing, but he was saying at the end of the day, he might, but no, he don't want to pick. But he's saying KD would sneak behind the door, depending on how the career ends, and it goes from that point on. That was years ago, but I think that was after KD's championship. I just feel like
I still say Michael only because like I know like the stats.
Because
you look at the stats, it's like yo, like he was still really
that too. Because Michael Jordan is the undisputed. We know that it's undisputed, but I have to take an account on
like I get why
because the 17 because I said the 17 words. You have to take an account because Jordan is not just going to lose. His competitive nature is not going to allow him to lose. So I understand
that 96 Bulls team was probably the most dominant defensive teams in NBA.
Yes, it was.
Like their defense was you couldn't really score against them.
But when you got a problem when you got people such as Steph, who's one of the greatest point guards and definitely the greatest shooter ever.
What era are we playing in? We playing in the era.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
I mean, yes, it does matter.
Imagine not handshaking Michael Jordan.
No, you're right. It does matter the criteria, but we can't put too much criteria because then people get too all into it or basketball politics. But furthermore, just saying you got to come across half court past that feet to feet. You have to guard Steph Curry too. But that's why Steph Curry is a lot different than a lot of people really think. That people give him his credit, but you really have to think about it.
Yeah. I like my chance with Michael though.
You can't hand. Yes, that's of course that's fine. You can't hand check. I'm just giving a little the hot take, but you can't really hand check somebody that has a handle like that, and you're not going all the way up the court with him, and then he hits you with one move and step back, and he will hit it from 40, 50, 30. It don't matter. Then you have somebody that's like Clay. I'm just being real. That took 4 to 5 dribbles and scored 50 plus points. Then you got somebody like Clay that's only done this in the history of NBA. I'm talking about everybody in NBA has never scored more in a quarter than Klay Thompson. Third quarter, 37 points. You have a good debate there. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know about that one.
You still got that monster at number 23, man. Because especially if you talking about non-hand checking, Michael Jordan would give you 50 a night, and and no one's exaggerating. They're saying it because of the way he played the game and his style of play and his understanding of the game. Like the most effective shot in basketball till this day in a 3-point happy league is the mid-range, because there's only but so many places where you get an effective shot in the three. There's more spaces to shoot the mid-range and get a shot. And him knowing that he he shot the highest percentage in NBA history, 49%. You know what I'm saying? Most points per game. So if you're not hand checking him, you know, it's like there's not much you can do. The only way you could slow Michael down was to be physical with him. And if you take that away, you don't have a prayer because he's shooting lights out. Like, and he don't even need the three. Like, he give you 35 a game all season, and he did that 1 year. He did it multiple times. He did it in 1 year. He hit 7 threes that year. Yeah, he gave the Magic 63 and hit 3 threes the whole night. Like, he don't even need. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's scary to think about. Like,
because it's Jordan. That's why in the combo it's Jordan. But in the combo, I have to take account of everybody on the team at that point.
Yeah,
17. That's the.
I like the Bulls defensively.
That's fine.
Defensively, I think they're better. They match up perfectly defensively. Like,
it's cool. But I like this. I like this segment. Now we gonna.
All right, question for you. Because the movie came out today. Yes, I already saw it, but I'm gonna ask you: Kong or Godzilla? Who wins?
I see it.
I know, but who do you think is gonna win?
Oh, who think is gonna win? Oh, I got Kong.
Okay,
I got Kong. You seen it?
Yes.
All right, man.
So I
say that. I'm gonna see that soon. All right, next. It's a good question. Are you comfortable if your partner makes more earnings than you? Does that mean, like we just said, power or control? So first question, are you comfortable if your partner makes more earnings than you?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because that does not define your relationship. It doesn't define your role in the relationship. At least it shouldn't. And yeah, money is not the reason that I'm with you. Money is not gonna make me happy. I'm with you because you make me happy, whether you have $1 or $10 million. So.
I agree with that statement too. I wouldn't necessarily care at all, honestly. And it's honestly, like you just said, it's based upon because once like we just spoke about last episode, just once you have that solid partner relationship, you going further, whatever. Like we said, it's a business, but not in a way of just like financial, just blowing money. In a financial state of building upon something, building a foundation. So I really wouldn't, because at the end of the day, like, if I felt as though, the bills need to be paid, that's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. You invest in the business, we can create some foundation. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a bigger picture. And if you don't, like we just said, you don't leave that up to really no debate. You know what I'm saying? Because once you put money into it in an aspect of greed, you know where things will go.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and I feel like, just being real, like a lot of men are just, I'm not saying it in that way, but can be a little bit insecure with themselves about, just about.
Yeah, because I'll speak on that. Because on the flip side, I think, I'm not saying this for all women, but I think if you were to ask a good amount of women, if they, would they still work if their husband was like a millionaire? I think a lot of them would be comfortable being like, no, he has all the money. On the flip side of that, just as men, because that's how we're built, we're still gonna want to go out and get a job. Because you gotta allow a man to be a man, and that's something that's not a woman. It's not a woman's job to make us feel like men. It's our job to make us feel like men.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So with that, even though she's making more money than me, I would still, as a man, want to go out and do something.
Right.
That's as a man, that's just something you just want to do to provide for your family, to make money, so you don't feel like a bum or no good. You want to feel like a man. It's not her job to make you feel like that. Some guys can't handle that. Some guys get insecure and they end up cheating because they want to be with somebody lesser than them, and that's not the woman's fault. That's the man's got to deal with that internally. But that is something that I think women need to understand. If they are the breadwinner, you still gotta let a man be a man. Like it hurts his feeling if you're trying to give him a hand. You can just work for me. Like no, he's gonna be like no, let me go out and find a job. You know what I'm saying? That's absolutely. And some women can't understand that, but as men, we get that. If I was talking to you, you would understand that because you're a man.
And then it's just like it's another praise too that your woman is a boss.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's a praise to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you just said. We're gonna go hard because at the end of the day, I'm not falling short of nothing. Like point blank, period. But at the end of the day, if that's what's on the table, just know we're just gonna be furthering our finances in certain ways. Yeah. Just point blank, period. And as a man, we're gonna still do man things.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a good question for us to have and a good point for us to have because you don't get a lot of transparency on these topics dealing with men talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've seen on a lot of women podcasts, they talking about, you know, are you comfortable with, you know, like you just said on the flip side of things. But I feel like it's good for us to answer that question because, you know, and that was to my other point. It said, does that mean, you know, power or control? You know, it just depends on who your partner is and what y'all have and what y'all
partner values
is.
money over everything. They're gonna feel like they have control over you because they make all the money.
Point blank. So man, moving forward, man. I'm excited to talk about this because we both been watching it.
Spoiler alert!
Right
Turn
now,
off if you haven't watched.
Spoiler alert, man, for real. Because I'm not holding back, man. It's getting too crazy out here. So man, Snowfall season 4. Have you seen Snowfall? It's out now. So tune in. It's 4 seasons, okay? Before we tell you this, because disclaimer, like you said, spoiler alert. Man, oh man, what do you think of this season, bro? Like this season has been a spooky season. I called it. I don't care what nobody say. I called that they're gonna be at the Leon, bro. You can see it as soon as it came on, and you seen when Franklin was having a conversation with him when he was in the projects, and he was just like, you know, just like, I'm not being around just to be your driver. You felt the energy just shift because at the end of the day he was out alone because he had to do him when Franklin was going through what he was going through, getting shot and stuff.
Leon always wanted to shoot first and ask questions later. Like, fam, no, let's ask some questions and then we'll decide if we want to shoot some dudes or not. And there were some things he said that was right. You know, he should have stayed out of the Man Boy and Scully V, even though they wasn't making no money. But that wasn't the right decision. But yeah, it's getting unshy, bro. Are you done?
No, you good. Once a kid gets involved, bro, it's a wrap. Once a kid gets involved, it is a wrap. Point blank.
At the same time, it's them dudes. So like you should not have started firing on people.
And that's true too. I felt the same.
Because what they gonna do? They gonna pull their guns out and start firing back to keep themselves from getting killed. They don't know it's a kid in the back of the car, but you still pull out.
And it's crazy because I mean, you know, they got shot up, but I'm just saying because that's who they, you know, a lot of the blame should be going on too. Because at the end of the day, like you just said, they drew guns first. You know, knowingly that the daughter was in the car. Everybody was in the car.
At that moment, you expect a shootout.
What?
At that moment, you inviting a shootout.
Boy, that was a chillful scene because I can't even imagine.
It's a lot. Franklin's really gonna have to like pull his wits together to pull this off. He's got a lot of things coming at him. He's got some things that he knows is coming. He's got some things he don't know is coming. We're gonna find out tonight. You know, with that reporter lady. You know,
and that.
I don't trust Shorty,
bro. I don't trust the reporter, bro. Like my thing is,
I'm talking about her girlfriend.
And I don't know. Yeah, Franklin, because he's dealing with somebody, and you know, she just came out the sky blue. You know, the storyline is about to come swift. She just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, but no, the reporter. That's what I was just talking about, bro. You have detectives. You have certain people for that job. Why are you going above your job? To do certain things and get certain intel. You in a bad position right now. You in a bad position. And another thing that's about to hit the fan, bro. Leon's about to find out that Franklin was working with the CIA. Or, you know, he's about to find that out.
Everybody knows.
I don't know how he's about to feel about that, but Uncle Jerome had me screaming, bro. He was in the car. He was like, man, how long you known? She was like, man, about a year. That's how you got to jail. He's like, that's how you got into jail like that. Bruh, like, if you have not seen Snowfall, bro, I don't care. You have to tune in, you gotta watch, man. We can't hold our breath anymore, man. This getting too intense.
And before we move on, yo, we gotta talk about Fatback.
Oh nah.
Come on, man. He's an idiot. Like, why do you think you did one night in jail, bro? You did one night in jail. They're not sending you to threesome for one night in jail. And they would have came and got you themselves. Like, come on, man.
They did get him. They did get him out of jail. How did he get out?
Shorty, but he thought that Leon and Franklin bailed him.
But you couldn't do what you were supposed to do.
You supposed to know that they wouldn't have picked you up like that. Yes, you're out, but you're not supposed to go in the car with her.
Yeah, but still, I understand that, but still, like. At the end
If
of
they dropped you off, they would have picked you up.
At the end of the day, he was in a bad situation to begin with because he was just in the.
No one is sending you a threesome for doing one night in jail.
How they did that was crazy. I don't even want to talk about that.
You did one night in jail.
Boy, that jump was ruthless. That
man. And how you can't fight homegirl off your back as big as you are?
Nah, he was tired. Yeah, I don't know what that. I don't want to say.
Fat Man disappointed me, man.
I was sad because I like Fat Man.
Yeah, but it was like, come on, bro.
All right, before we move off to Snowfall, real quick, I just want to add this. Yo, for y'all, I like Power. Don't get it twisted. I like Power. Power was one of my favorite shows. Like it's definitely up until season 5. I'm not saying season 4. 1 through 4 is my favorite seasons. Yes, till now they're doing a very good job. The season 6 was good, cool. Rate out 1 out of 10, probably 7 to 8 to me. But I'm just being real. As we talk about TV shows and just the genuine, Snowfall is the one to me. But also, not saying that giving anything away from Power. I love Power. But stop comparing Franklin to Tariq.
They're not the same, bro.
Stop
Tariq not a
Franklin
stepper.
to
He's
Tariq.
not safe.
He's not a real stepper.
He's not a stepper. He's not
safe. This is, people don't understand and put things in perspective. This is the crack epidemic. And on Tariq's character, I like Michael Rainey. He's a good actor. I'm just talking about the character. Tariq was spoiled. He started being all into this when Kane came into the picture about at 16, 17, which was really not realistic. He just wanted to be in business that he wasn't, really old enough to understand, not even understand, should be in. You got the best of both schools and everything. You moving forward. Ghost, you keep calling him Ghost. When he's being James, making stuff happen for you, and out of rage and everything, you go on after Raina died. You go on killing spree. You doing all this. You kill Kane, then you kill Ghost. Like, bruh, look here. We talking about Franklin, who was in the crack epidemic in the middle of LA, who really took reign over. With unfortunately all the things that happened within the crack epidemic, but also he did what he had to do. And then if we talking about that type of realm of like being a stepper and being in that certain realm, it's not even a question. Franklin had to deal with the government. He had to deal with the hood. He had to deal with other people, like all different type of things. Rival connects. He had to deal with.
Franklin actually had real shooters around him. Tariq had what's his boy's name?
Stop it, bro.
Come on now.
Like,
if you go harder than Tariq, we being honest. Like, come on, man.
Bro. Like,
He's not a stepper. Like, he's not Saint.
They keep doing this, and it's just
Saint killed his best homie.
And then in comparing Power to Snowfall, I'm not just trying to say TV. Just trying to compare them. But a lot of people are basing it off of just the story. But if you're really talking about the story, we're talking about and looking at something that really is based upon something. Yes, everything is not true fact, but we're talking about that's really something based upon something that actually is real history for you really to be watching and understanding. Because there's a lot of hidden gems in Snowfall that you need to catch on to if you really watch it and understand it. And like that's another thing. It's kind of like Godfather Harlem, which don't get his credit. Because
I haven't watched that yet.
You have to see that. Oh my God! But it's just saying that type of TV is a lost art. Like The Wire, those type of shows is lost. This Snowfall, it has storytelling that's based on true events and it's real. Like, but I can't. You're not gonna keep doing this. And they know who I'm talking to.
All I know is Tariq is not Saint. Tariq is not Franklin Saint. Tariq let the stripper walk and was ready to get smoked by Monet Tejada. Yeah. Franklin would have did her. Franklin would have did what he had to do.
Tommy was about to do whatever had to be done on that last episode. That's what we needed. That's the real stuff we need to be talking about. Tommy, even though the characters, but Tommy is actually the one. So moving on to the last, you already know topic. Would you rather? Would you rather have? And this was a different one, so let me click on this one because I did change up the last one. Would you rather be forced to wear the same thing every day or have to do the same thing every day? So wear the same thing every day or do the same thing every day?
I'll do the same thing every day. I'm too much of a, getting fly is like my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love wearing something different. That's the whole, like my whole mood. That's gonna kill me. That's gonna kill me to wear the same thing every day. Come on now. I'd rather just do the same thing every day. Especially if I get to, because I assume I get to pick the outfit, which means I assume I get to pick the task.
I don't know.
So if that's the case, I would just rather do this every day.
Because I'm definitely the same as him. I'm definitely fly guy, for real. Like I have to have expression within my appearance and my clothes. I change all the time throughout days. But
true.
This is a hard
whole wardrobe.
this is a hard question for me, because at the end of the day, doing the same thing every day, like, that's not appealing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, like, in life, I don't want to do the same
We already do the same thing every day, we're being honest.
Yes.
We have practice in this.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. But also, I still want to be able to, if you think about doing the same thing every day, you got to, if I'm stopping today and trying to do the same thing every day, then I'm traveling and then I'm doing that back. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like, but I would say definitely clothes, because even though, you know, in high school, us having uniforms, it was to a benefit too. I'm not saying I love uniforms, but if you think about it too, it's a benefit too, because you ain't had to really think about getting fly. But if we talk about
did that.
But yeah, but still, like, if you talk about school related to his regular life, it's not even a question. Like, I'd rather just get fly every day. Like,
Getting fly was a part of life.
and then, like you just said, we depending on what we doing every day. Like, I'll be cool with that, but I have to be able to express myself in my clothing. So it's definitely, man, definitely. So, man, as you know, man, rest in peace, Nip, man, for real. Rest in peace, Nip, man. Much praise and shout out to you. Honestly, you already know the marathon must continue. Let's honor his name by pushing the culture forward.
Facts.
Man, the victory lap, for real. And lastly, you know, every single Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this, man. Color Power here, Game Shift. We are here, man. Much love, man.
Appreciate y'all.
One.